Welcome to Wow What a Movie Show. I'm Craig.
I'm never ready for when you say that. But I'm Augie.
I'm Joey.
And today we're going to be talking about composers, film score composers.
Mm-hmm.
Our favorite composers, Hans Zimmer, John Williams, Ennio Morricone, Howard Shore, all great composers, but we're not going to talk about them today. They get the limelight a lot, and I feel that there's a lot of underrated or underappreciated composers, not necessarily within the film industry, but household names that don't get the recognition that they deserve. So I think we're going to try and have a nice little discussion and introduce you, the audience, to some composers that we feel are underappreciated and that we ourselves love.
I wouldn't say underappreciated. Definitely.
I think that
I would say a lot of them are Oscar nominated.
Yeah, I would say not Oscar winners.
Household
too.
names.
Yeah, household
not household
names.
names. Underappreciated by the general populace.
Right.
Yeah, it's these guys have put together some great scores, and we just want to shine a light on them instead of Raiders of the Lost Ark or Jaws. John Williams.
I think it's kind of a testament that people are recognizing it now, how important the film scores are to the film. I think, especially in today's climate, they're looking at the director, they're looking at all the behind-the-scenes stuff and recognizing, going to see the movie because of these things.
I think with the help of websites like IMDb and stuff, where you can easily access things and you can kind of put two and two together with the behind the scenes of the film.
If you asked somebody 10 years ago who Hans Zimmer was, they would have been like, "Who?" Now
Hans Zimmer, guy that was in the Bengals,
the Bugles.
The Bugles, that's it. The guy in the Bugles.
The radio star.
Oh yeah, and that weirdo from Oingo Boingo.
Danny Elfman.
Yeah, I think that being that everything is accessible now, I think that really helps the climate, and people kind of want to learn what they're interested in more, even though a lot of people say with the internet people are getting lazier, but I think that there's
just the opposite.
There's an interest. If somebody is genuinely interested in something, then they get an immediate answer.
Right. And with websites like Spotify and YouTube, it's so easy to just get film scores the date. I think Spotify released Star Wars the night before.
Yeah, they do the night before, or sometimes even a couple days before.
So big fans can hear oh my god, this is what it's gonna sound like. I wonder what scene this is gonna go with in the movie, and you fall in love with these albums before you've even seen them. Right. And they're their own pieces of art, and you're finally getting to appreciate them. I feel like 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, you were less likely to own the soundtrack to a film than you are now. And I feel like that's a big thing.
Unless there were popular songs attached to that soundtrack,
exactly.
like the Batman album or something like that.
Yeah, some guy named Prince did that.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Well, I think that Augie is going to start us off today. This
only
only makes sense for those of you who don't know Augie. Augie is our resident film score expert.
A little bit. Yeah.
And he has picked his starter is actually a very good composer, and I would like him to be a household name because he's very well known.
I think as the years go, especially, he's so much like John Williams already. Michael Giacchino. He's basically the runner-up for John Williams. Whenever the day that I don't ever want to hear when John Williams passes away, Michael Giacchino will be there to sort of soften the blow musically.
Yeah.
Because he's so in tune with that style of writing. One of my favorite scores he did was Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, especially Into Darkness with that Khan's piano motif. Beautiful. It's called London's Calling. Beautiful score. The guy's from Jersey. That's one cool check mark for me. A lot of Jersey,
right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you check off Riverside too?
Thank you. Yeah. He did. He actually followed him.
We're from New Jersey, if it wasn't obvious. Rutgers is a college in New Jersey, for those of you who don't know.
It's a state college.
It's the state college of New Jersey. Yeah.
He went to school in New York, I know. He didn't study with Williams, but he started doing video games first. And the first experience I've ever had of his music was for the Lost World video game, which is where he worked with Williams slightly. Because he wrote his own score for the Lost World video game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like the actual movie, so he kind of had carte blanche when it came to the music.
Which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And the first movie I think I've heard him ever do was if not mistaken, I think it might have been Star Trek in 2009. Like recognizing the score.
you were like, oh, that's Michael Giacchino.
Right. I might have. It wasn't until maybe it could have been a couple movies before that, but I think it was Star Trek that I was like, this is good. This is great, actually. The opening credits for Star Trek are iconic now, almost as iconic as the actual the television score. So for me, Michael Giacchino, I cannot wait to see what's in store for him in the future.
Another score from his that is iconic. I would boldly say iconic, but it's Up.
Up. Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I believe he won the Oscar for.
He did, I think. Yeah.
He did.
Up was wow.
That is a fantastic score, especially in the silent first 10 minutes of that film that rip your heart out. The score does everything that it can to just absolutely tear your heart out with the visuals.
Or with as another score of his was The Incredibles. That is one of the best superhero scores ever written.
Yes, it is very good.
Too,
yeah.
What? Best Pixar film.
Oh, that's one of the best Pixar films. Yeah. So it just enhances that movie, the score, that triumphant music, the sort of 50s motifs that he has going on in there to kind of beef up what the tone was of the film. I loved it. I love that score, definitely.
It's definitely very good. Yeah. So, Michael Giacchino is our first. Now we're going to move on to Craig.
I want to talk about one of my favorite composers. Not very widely known, but he has composed two of my favorite pieces in film. This is John Murphy. For those of you who don't know John Murphy, he hasn't composed very much. He's definitely he hasn't composed anything in the last 5 or 6 years, actually. But he's most well known for Sunshine. His big piece Adagio in D minor is pretty much in everything. It was not only in Sunshine, it's been in films, other films such as Kick-Ass. It's been in media. It was licensed to to high heaven, as well as his other song from 28 Weeks Later. Bless you. If that was just
it was a cough.
Half cough.
I appreciate
it. He just had eggs in Nilbog. That's what happened.
The other one from 28 Weeks Later, in the house, the name is escaping me. It's in the house,
in the heart, out of the house, in the heart, or something.
In the house, it's that song. For whatever reason, the name is
28 Days and Weeks Later.
Yes, he's mostly known for collaborating with some Danny Boyle films, but he's also done.
I think most. Some.
Because I know Slumdog Millionaire and Trainspotting, he didn't do. A.R. Rahman did Slumdog Millionaire, and 127 Hours as well, if I'm not mistaken. But he's also done. Wow, I'm blanking.
This is why I wrote mine down.
John Murphy's also done Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. See, editing, just trim it out, just trim the fat.
Nope.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch. He's also done.
They sampled this stuff in Kick-Ass. A lot of people.
Oh, did. That's honestly where a lot of people heard Adagio in D minor, because it's in the climax of Sunshine, and it's also in the climax of Kick-Ass. It's in the when Hit Girl's taking out everyone as Big Daddy's getting set on fire. Spoiler alert. A little late.
What he says, what he does what does he say?
Big Daddy?
Yeah. When he screams out those commands.
I don't remember.
He's like. The fire, and he's on fire.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I don't remember what he says, but it's one of that music makes it better too.
But I love me those two songs, and they're really emotional. And for somebody who's I feel like he has a lot of talent, and he doesn't get to express it nearly as much as he should, and doesn't nearly get the recognition or the fame he deserves.
That's fair. That's fair. I do like Adagio
D major.
D major, D minor.
D minor.
Well, it's D minor. It's
Major
the saddest of all the keys.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll go then.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Move on.
My pick is a household name, but not for movie scores. My first pick is Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. I come from a background in which I absolutely love music and rock music, and Nine Inch Nails falls into that category. So I did want to talk about Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Both are associated with Nine Inch Nails. Right. A little brief history into Trent. I did a lot of research for this, and I was very proud of myself. So, Nine Inch Nails. A very cool fact was that the album, The Downward Spiral, which has Closer, it's probably their most recognizable album, was recorded in 150 CeeLo Drive Studios, and if that address sounds familiar, that is because that is where the Manson murders took place. Where what was her name? Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Where she was
Roman
Polanski's wife was murdered,
and their unborn child. That was awful.
Yes, and it's
You
he
didn't know
actually.
that?
No, I did. It was just, yeah.
And he actually named the studio Le Pig Studio because
Wow.
that was what was written on the wall by the
Oh,
murderer.
Makes sense.
And
'Cause,
so I thought that
Polanski
was
grew up in France.
yeah.
Yes.
So I thought that was a little fun fact. Some more information about Trent. He's also done video game work. He has done. He was credited for Quake.
Quake. Okay.
Because I don't know that he exactly he did the music, but he was credited as Nine Inch Nails, and it said Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails. He also did the main theme for Call of Duty, Black Ops 2.
Okay.
And he was slated to do Doom 3, but it did not work out. He before he started doing his own scores, he was a soundtrack producer, and he did Natural Born Killers, and he did Lost Highway,
Makes
the
sense.
David Lynch film.
Yeah.
And then that's when David Fincher reached out and got in touch with him to do The Social Network.
Yeah.
A little bit later than, not right after, but like, you know. But reached out for The Social Network, in which he worked with Atticus Ross, who he had worked on, who had worked with before, as I said, with Nine Inch Nails. Every album of Nine Inch Nails after With Teeth and Beyond, Atticus Ross was associated with.
Okay.
And Atticus Ross, another fun fact about him is that he is also a credited producer on Coheed and Cambria's Year of the Black Rainbow.
Oh.
And Atticus Ross got his film start with the Hughes brothers.
Oh.
He actually, his first film credit is The Book of Eli. And he did a couple of he did a TV series with them called Touching Evil, and he did a short film called New York I Love You with the Hughes. And then
isn't New York I Love You is a
it's a short film.
is it I don't know if it's a short film. I think isn't it it's supposed to be the American version of Paris I Love You.
Is it?
Yeah, where it's a bunch of directors came together and
Oh, so he just did that segment.
Yeah, I believe
that's
it,
cool.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's a short technically, but
Yeah.
it's part of the sort of
a larger picture.
right,
Yes.
like what's analogy stories.
Mhm. Yeah, like 4 rooms.
Right, anthology is what I meant.
Anthology.
Analogy stories.
Analogy. It is probably an analogy. Or something. It's an anthology story, is what I meant.
What is Trent Reznor's favorite color?
Trent Reznor's favorite color is not written here.
No, it's not.
But I can only assume
Probably
black.
black, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like his heart.
So Trent and Atticus hooked up with David Fincher, did the Social
did they?
Network.
Did they make eye
We're dropping all TMZ. Watch out.
My God. I'm
his
sorry,
heart-
guys. I'm really trying.
His heart grew 3 times.
Yes, that day.
He did the Social Network and got an Oscar. Damn it.
Oh, it's great.
And then
That's a great score.
That is a great.
It is a great
I love
score.
that score. I can see why he got the Oscar.
Yeah, I think that it fits perfectly.
His
into the movie.
experimental type of music totally works for that. I
Yeah.
think it's weird because you don't think a story about the making of Facebook would need that kind of a score, but it sort of totally fits in the character that this is Mark Zuckerberg they built up. The film's version of Mark Zuckerberg. It's kind of a villain.
Yeah, he's a bit of a villain, but he's still a genius,
Right.
and it's still like what he's doing is very experimental and weird, and I think that the score represents that
Complements it.
perfectly. Yeah.
I agree.
And then another fun fact: he did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Gone Girl afterwards. For Gone Girl, I read a little snippet that Trent Reznor had said, and he said that Fincher approached him after he was in a chiropractor, and he was listening to the music in the chiropractor, and he got the feeling that the music was trying to give you a facade that everything is okay. So for Gone Girl, he asked Trent Atticus to replicate that by making music that puts a facade up that everything is
makes
okay
sense.
throughout the movie. And I thought that was
a
cool.
great score.
Yeah.
That's good.
And the last thing I want to touch on with those two is they do really cool remixes of songs for their trailers.
Okay,
Um,
that makes sense. That was what
they did the Immigrant Song with
Right,
Karen O.
yeah.
Right.
They
For
did
Girl Giant Tattoo.
they did She, which was made famous by Elvis Costello, but was originally written by Charles Aznavour. It's a tough name to say, but he originally wrote it. Very good song. It's
Okay.
nice. He was called the Frank Sinatra of France. And then for Social Network, Creep with the Child's Choir.
Creep, yeah.
So that's all I have for now. That's the
That's
first
it.
one.
That's all you got.
I'm sorry that I
Jeez.
came prepared, guys. I apologize.
Light. Who else? You had another name on your list that I was pretty excited to hear about.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Speaking
the
of French.
He was the Alexander Desplat of France.
The plot.
The plot.
The plot.
The plot thickens.
Alexander Desplat.
Desplat.
D-E-S-P-L-A-T.
It's in French. It's in French.
It's
They
French.
don't pronounce the S. Yeah. Desplat. I'm surprised you pronounce it at all.
Alexandre.
Alexander
Desplat.
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 Oh.
Anyway.
Desplat thickens.
French film composer with
That was a good one. You gotta admit.
I said it 2 minutes ago.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear
Yes.
it.
You did.
I'll edit it out and just making sure mine was the only one heard.
Yes.
Joke stealer.
Yeah.
They call me Carlos Mencia.
Oh, that's dark. So Alexandre Desplat, French film composer, Greek. He has Greek ancestry. He has made over 140 compositions for film. For one of the first films, the one film that I picked up his score, like I listened to it and I immediately got it afterwards, was The Ghostwriter. Speaking of Roman Polanski,
No.
it's weird, it's fun, it's a score that like totally gives that noir vibe. But
For sure.
but the Roman Polanski's version of a noir, like it's a little quirkier than the usual noir.
Yeah.
I love that score, and he's somebody that tries to do different things with his music. He's sort of a James Newton Howard when it comes to emotion as well. He brings out that emotion that some other composers have a problem with. I loved his score for Godzilla as well. I think it represents the Toho Japanese feel. The big bands, the drums, especially the Janjiro drums that they use, the taiko drums that he uses for the Janjiro sequences, for all the Japanese stuff. I love that stuff. He had also the task of following up John Williams, completing the Harry Potter films, which I think anybody coming on to that after John Williams
That's kind of rough.
Yeah.
you have to
follow.
pretty much masterpiece.
Might as well try to do Indiana Jones 5 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
John,
4 for that matter. I'm gonna talk about 4.
It doesn't exist, so what are you talking about for?
It's like Windows. They just skipped 4 and went right to 5.
That's true, yeah. They skipped 9 and went to 10, right?
Yeah.
I must have wished Windows 4. I missed 5 as well. And 6. They just went from Vista to 7.
Probably a good idea to do.
But everybody that came after John Williams, when he left Harry Potter, he left probably making one of his best scores of all time for Prisoner of Azkaban. And everybody who kind of followed they weren't meeting that expectation, but if anybody was close, it was Alexander Desplat. He brought the emotion that those films brought, the original films brought, like the third one especially, with the dark nature of everything.
And he had the heaviest film to score.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we were dealing with sort of Nazism, fascism, and people like on the run and stuff like that. And I think he brought it. I think his Lily's theme is beautiful. It's almost on par with John Williams's Window to the Past, which represents everything about Harry Potter's past and his father's past and his mother's past. And I think it was a tall order, and he knocked it out the park. The statue battle of the statues, which is that I remember in the movie, I was like, this scene, if it's done well, it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
But when the score kicked in, the goosebumps just totally, it was amazing. And it was because of the music mostly. I think the music, once that kicked in, you knew something was going down.
Yeah, and it was also nicely complimented by Maggie Smith right before the
yeah,
fight
of course,
took place.
yeah.
She was like, I've always wanted to use that style.
I love it. Alexander Desplat, he's done every single Roman Polanski film after Ghost Rider, I believe. And Carnage was pretty good. It was quirky, fun. But he also did recently. He just got nominated for The Imitation Game,
which is a very good score.
Right, fantastic score, fantastic
film as
score.
well.
Yes, it is.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he got nominated recently as well. I don't remember what was the last film.
He's somebody that feels like for like the past 10 years he's been nominated every other year.
Yeah, he's gotten nominated quite a bit. Yeah.
But he does incredible scores and he deserves it. So.
Right.
Exactly. And I just this is why we're doing it, because we feel like he deserves the recognition. He's not yet a household name, probably because he's French.
Wow.
But I think that he
fuck
should
you,
be.
Frenchman.
I feel like that's what a lot of people think, but I think he's a very talented composer, and I hope he gets the recognition.
Yeah.
Obviously by film people.
Definitely.
Yeah, film people know film people know who Alexander Splat is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
We want everyone to watch us.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, he's going to be doing Rogue One next, which I'm really excited about. I
That's
want to
gonna
see
be
him tackle. Once again, he's going to be following John Williams. I think he's got a pretty daunting life lately.
But I feel like what he's following is a little less iconic than Harry Potter. It's only Star Wars. You know?
That old
So,
thing.
yeah, whatever. It's not like you can hum that at the drop of a dime or anything.
I'm excited
you know what I mean?
to see how he adapts those themes. I want to hear his version of the Darth Vader theme, because obviously he's going to be in Rogue One, which is what I was excited about when hearing the Harry Potter. A lot of people had a problem with the first Deathly Hallows Part 1 score because it didn't have Hedwig's theme in it too much and all the other previous themes. But he was able to adapt that theme into a battle theme at the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2. And that was incredible. Incredible. So check him out. Alexander Desplat, awesome.
I want to talk about somebody who's probably could be described as the third Coen brother, and that's Carter Burwell. Carter Burwell has made pretty much... He's scored every Coen Brothers film with the exception of probably, unfortunately, there are two famously scored films, which were by T-Bone Burnett. Inside Llewyn Davis and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Yeah, nice little folk songs, but Carter Burwell has done all of their other scores, from Raising Arizona to Miller's Crossing, up until Hail Caesar that just came out this past year. And he's a brilliant composer. He has a style all of his own, but he does not... I don't feel he repeats himself. I feel like when you're listening to him, you know who it is. But it's not repetitive in any way.
I feel like the Coens wouldn't allow that. Like, every film is so drastically different from one another that the scores can't even repeat themselves if he tried.
I think it's incredible. He wrote the score for Burn After Reading, and it feels heavier than the subject is.
Yeah.
It's a movie about nothing, and it feels like something seriously happening. Which is, I love it.
And that's the thing, is that the Coen brothers give him a lot of room to breathe. Like, he's allowed to do whatever he wants. He has full creative freedom with it. And it really shows. In addition to the Coen brothers, he's also done Martin McDonagh's two films, Seven Psychopaths and In Bruges. And he's just a very talented and very creative composer. And he got his start when Coen brothers made their first film. Which again I should have written down because the name escapes me. But like he was just
the Coen brothers' first film.
Yeah,
Blood Simple.
Blood Simple. And he didn't even want to be a composer. They just came up to him and said, "Hey, do you want to do this?" He did it. It got rave reviews. People started calling him, and he kind of just fell into the job. And then come back 32 years later. I think it was 1984 that came out. It's 2016 now with Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar was a monumental undertaking because not only did he have to score the film, but all the small films inside of it as well.
Absolutely incredible, yeah. They did a fantastic job with that.
With the musical with Channing Tatum.
Every film within the film totally different from one another.
Yeah, and the scores are very good, and they complement the many films themselves.
You had a Roman epic, you had underwater, swimming dance sequence, and then you had a bar sequence.
Sing-along at the bar with the sailors.
With a bunch of seamen.
The movie may have not been the greatest, but his score for it definitely felt real and felt good. And most notably, finally, he was Oscar nominated for Carol, which is another film, obviously not with the Coen brothers, about starring Rooney Mara and Cate Blanchett, which is just a beautiful, fun score to listen to. And the subject matter is, it fits perfectly. It's like it's two lovers meeting for the first time, and the score really reflects that, and you feel what they're feeling when you're listening to it, and it's absolutely beautiful, and he rightfully deserved the nomination.
Speaking of two lovers meeting each other for the first time, did you know our two composers, Alexander Desplat and Carter Burwell, have something in common?
They're both men.
Yes.
What?
No.
Nailed it.
They both have composed Twilight films.
Oh yes, that's true.
Now, and unfortunately, but
Yeah.
I will say I have to tell you, I think Alexander Desplat's score is better.
I will say.
New Moon score sticks with you afterwards. After a pretty terrible movie.
Unlike, I was about to say, unlike the movie.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
score. I mean,
bad on this film composers.
It's like who can the worst of the worst of their films.
And then I think Howard Shore did the third one, which is really upsetting.
how?
We're not gonna talk about Howard Shore.
The fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's something you probably better off not know.
Yeah, I was okay. I'm not
The
gonna
third
sleep
one's
tonight
the
now.
best movie though, so I guess.
Yeah, but
Really,
you
watched
know,
the third one?
I watched them all. We
Really?
we watched all of them.
we did watch all of them.
I've
Because
watched the
we're
first two.
gluttons for pain.
We are gluttons for pain, especially Augie to me.
Yeah.
Fun fact: my brother, God rest his soul, he's still alive.
Why did you say that?
Thinks that Twilight is better than Harry Potter.
He's wrong.
Yes, but he believes it 100%.
What? You know, he would have been good when we did the game show.
Yeah.
It was.
I could have used him on my side.
It was pretty.
Honestly, you should.
Like legitimately, I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, it really is Harry Potter.
Honestly,
stuff.
he needs to watch them again because he's missing
I
the
know.
plot.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Because there
and
is no
say,
plot.
Yeah.
He's lost in the plot.
Yeah.
He's not missing anything.
But you should listen to the New Moon score. It's actually really
No,
good.
I've heard the new Moon score.
Oh,
I
okay.
liked it. I agree with you. Deplots is better. I'm actually Desplots, I should say.
Just
is
keep
better.
saying Deplot.
Deplot.
Where-
Deplane.
Like your fucking tattoo. Yeah.
Like what's missing in the Twilight movies.
Oh.
Deplot.
Joey's got somebody else
Yeah,
too.
he does.
I do.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel's brother
Do you
from
have-
England.
Do you have 20 minutes to spare? Because Joey wrote notes.
I did write notes.
To
I'm
be
sorry
fair,
that I
though,
did
this is
research.
only a third of the length of Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor.
Well,
That's
that's
true.
two people.
That is two people.
Yeah.
That's
And Trent Reznor has a very
Trent
storied
Reznor?
career.
Yes.
That's two people. That's right. I enlisted the help of R. They did the math, and they concluded that it was
Wow.
indeed
Thank
two
you.
people.
Thank you, Are they did the math.
I don't want to talk
I'm glad that they could take the time out from figuring out how many buckets of chicken it would take to get to the moon, just to count two.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anyway, Clint Mansell. Clint Mansell. Again, this is somebody who in the film world is very known.
about it.
Not exactly a household name. His work is probably household known. You just don't know that you're listening to it
Mhm.
because a certain track of his is played fucking everywhere. I mean, it's a great track.
That's
Every
probably a DMCA
trailer,
takedown.
every trailer made in the 90s into the early 2000s had that somewhere.
Yeah. That is Luxa Turner. From
Luxa
Wrestling
Turner.
for
Yes,
Dream.
it is. It is Luxa Turner. Luxa
Turner.
Turner.
Luxa Turner. That's
Luke's
Carly's brother.
out Turner.
Yes.
So
So
it's Latin.
Clint Mansell.
Luke's means light.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think Eterna means eternal. If I had to guess.
Nope,
Very
it doesn't.
good.
What does it mean?
It means Aeon Flux.
That's what I thought.
This is what I have to fucking deal
Yeah.
with.
You know, Eon Flux is a terrible movie.
A great show though on MTV.
Do you have 20 minutes because they're
Yeah.
just gonna keep talking?
This is what I meant by
Yeah.
the 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put aside.
Eon Flux. Charlize Theron. Go rent it. Don't.
No,
It's
don't
terrible.
rent it. Don't give that movie money. So Joey, tell us about
Mansell.
Clint
Oh, you guys
Mansell.
are done.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're done.
All right, Clint Mansell. He got his musical start in a hard to categorize band called Pop Will Eat Itself. And
Shitty.
Is it Pops like the cereal?
yes, it's about corn pops eating themselves. It's hard to describe because they literally just put a mic in a bowl of corn pops.
Mhm.
That's how you make music.
Yep.
That is how you make
That's how,
music.
You make more music with Rice Krispies stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they were alternative.
I heard actually it's more like Pringles because you know once you pop, fun don't stop.
Anyway, if you want to hear it for yourselves, I would recommend the album Cure for Sanity. It's a good album if you're on a long drive in the dark and you're starting to feel like you're falling asleep. Just throw that album on. You'll be wide the fuck awake.
Joey, we don't curse on this channel.
Shut the fuck up. Ties to my earlier. Clint Mansell and Trent Reznor actually have worked together. Clint Mansell has done backing vocals on a Nine Inch Nails album called The Fragile. It's a very good album. It was the follow-up to The Downward Spiral, which I talked about before. So, from all this, Darren Aronofsky was making a film called Pi about a mathematician.
That was after.
That movie was.
That was after
false
dinner.
advertising.
What?
After dinner.
Yeah, Pie.
Yeah, Pie.
Yeah. That's what. That's what I
And
went into that
Punch.
movie, and it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be about math.
Math.
What's...
I like math.
I like math.
So he did the score for Pi.
Yeah.
Very good score. And then after
Rated
Pi, Aronofsky.
3.14 out of 4 stars.
Yeah.
God fucking damn it.
So he did Pie.
And then afterwards, he did Requiem for a Dream,
Right.
the next Aronofsky film, and that is where Lux Alterna comes from.
Looks.
And some facts about Lux Alterna is that to tie in with Craig, this was actually used in the Sunshine trailer.
Yes.
And
By John
then
Murphy.
it was reorchestrated for the trailer for The Two Towers.
Ah.
And it was reorchestrated by Simon Benyakar?
Yeah.
Sorry, Simone, whatever the fuck your name is.
Wow.
Daniel Nielsen and Vigar Margierson.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a name.
And
probably
the
Or Norway.
the strings for Lux Alterno, the original, were arranged by David Lang, who actually just got a film credit for the Italian film Youth with Michael Caine and Harvey Keitel. That's some facts about
Wow.
Lux Alterno.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
He went on to do The Fountain, which is one of my favorite film scores of all time. I think that is,
Really?
yes, I think that is a fantastic piece of film score.
What do you think of the film, The Fountain? Just out of curiosity.
I'm a fan of the film.
Really?
Fountain. I
didn't-
am.
didn't-
I know we've had this discussion
Yeah.
before, and I think I was the lone one
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
on
The
that
Fountain.
on that one.
I like it. I just don't like it a lot.
It's where Hugh Jackman has sex with a tree, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
Evil
what's
Dead,
not
but
to
no,
like?
That's true.
It's like
It was the
Dead without-
opposite.
without the rape.
Yeah, it's Evil Dead the opposite.
Without the rape.
And then he went on to
Don't
do.
remember.
He's done the rest of Aronofsky's films: Black Swan, The Wrestler, and Noah.
Black
Black
Swan's probably
Swan.
my favorite.
Black
I agree
Swan,
with you there.
which he had taken Swan Lake and reversed it,
Yeah.
which stopped him from being nominated for an Oscar
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's called the Nazi
It's-
Cow.
because he also did Moon,
Yeah, he did.
yes,
Great film.
It is
and Doom,
Yeah.
not so great film.
not so great film.
But he did remix "You Know What You Are," which is a Nine Inch Nails song, another reference to Trent Reznor.
Did he do Warcraft?
Did he?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh, I didn't see it in his credits. but
Okay. Because he.
That doesn't mean he didn't.
I mean, because he worked with Moon.
I know they
Duncan-
work with Duncan
Duncan
Jones, but he didn't do
so-
source code either.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Duncan Jones.
Duncan.
I thought you said Doug. I'm sorry.
Doug Jones.
Yeah,
He
Doug
also
Jones
worked
is
with
great
Nicolas
actor. Yeah, he is.
Cage. Nicolas Cage directed a movie. Did you know that?
He did.
Yeah, it's called Sunny.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that at all. Actually.
and Clint Mansell did the music for
Ah.
it.
When did it come out?
I don't know, but
You got all the
in the
fucking information,
2000s.
but you don't want to write it down when it came out.
He also did Smoking Aces.
I love
That's a
Smoking
film.
Aces.
That's a
It's
good film.
fun.
Yeah.
No,
Good
Joe
fun.
Carnahan.
It's good fun.
Yeah,
It's
Joe
fun.
Carnahan, who also did the A-Team, which is also another very
I
good
don't-
fun movie.
I think Joe Carnahan, not as an aside right now, I think he doesn't get enough credit.
I don't
Okay.
think so either.
Yeah.
I think that he makes fun action movies that are
yeah.
smart.
Or The Gray was really good too. I
Yeah.
think The Gray was, the
All good
ending,
films.
whatever. You take it as it is, but I think it was a suspenseful film. It stinks that he doesn't get the credit he deserves. But that's an aside.
Oh, speaking of credit, I forgot to credit the Kronos Quartet, which are the fellows who do the strings for Clint Mansell's
Gotcha.
works. Based out of San Francisco, they are.
San Fran.
Yeah, they. I mean, if you've heard his scores, you know that the strings are very good.
Yeah.
And
I think in Black Swan, they stand out the most.
I think that the work of Black Swan is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Opposites Attract. Check that track out. Fantastic. That theme is like representative of Nina, the character, and especially her turn, which is great.
And then last thing here is he also has done video games, and the big standout is Mass Effect 3.
One of my favorite video games of all time.
And the score, you could tell me. I don't know if it's any good. Is it good?
It's amazing.
I would think so.
Honestly, Mass Effect, it has one of the greatest video game scores of all time. From the first one to the third one. And when we went to Video Games Live, I was very upset that I didn't get to hear any of it.
Yeah.
They probably were good enough.
It's possible.
I don't know if they've ever done Mass Effect.
I don't know.
I think they've done
They
the
might
first
have.
one,
They might have,
but they
yeah.
probably haven't done the third one. But it's a great soundtrack. It's a great score. For video games, it's up there with me.
A lot of composers jump to the video game world to work. I know Hans
Yeah.
Zimmer has done a lot of work, and he did Crisis 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Well-
done Modern Warfare, I think, as well. I think he did
Did
that
he?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot which. I think it was both. He did. I think with in collaboration with somebody else. I'm not sure.
That's cool.
I think John Williams. I don't think.
No.
No. But I mean, video games are kind of like personal cinematic entertainment
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
can like
I mean, you gotta
eclipse
write
yourself
a lot
into.
more music though. That's the big problem.
You do,
Yeah.
because it's not a 2-hour film; it's a 10 to 15-hour
Right.
video game. You
Yep.
know? And like things like Skyrim, where it's open world,
Right.
there's like hours and hours and hours
Right.
of,
Mhm.
and the music in Skyrim is very good.
Yeah, Jeremy Soule, he's great. Henry Jackman, somebody else we probably could have talked about as well. Another really underrated composer. He just took over for the last Uncharted game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was cool to see him adapt somebody else's work. And
I did hear that game is like
Yeah.
damn good.
Mhm.
Damn good. So yeah, that's basically all I have on Clint Mansell. I do very much enjoy his work, and today doing my research was the first time that I had actually heard Popple Eat Itself, and I was
I'll have to take a
very
listen
interested.
myself.
Yeah, because we were talking over dinner that I was listening to Popple Eat Itself, and then I'm just curious to know what Aronofsky heard. Like, I'm glad that he heard it and he hired him to do Pi, but like, I was listening to the album, and like somebody like Trent Reznor, it makes sense because even though the industrial rock metal, whatever you want to call it, it's very heavy and very weird, there's still clearly melodies. You know,
Yeah.
like tracks like Hurt. Even in the heavier stuff, there's still some really good melody work, and you could see how that would transfer, and especially in somebody like Fincher's films, like how it just fits in. I'm just curious to, you hear Popple Eat Itself, and then you're just like, that guy can make a beautiful score.
Yeah.
I just want to know. I'm like I said, I'm glad that it happened. I just want to know what the fuck made
why.
him think that. Yeah, but good for him. Good for him.
He probably met him after the show and was like,
I'm sure.
What, are you interested in making film scores? He's like, I can dabble. I can dabble.
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm Clint Mansell. I'll dabble in it.
He's from England.
Yeah.
I'm Clint Mansell.
I'll dabble in it.
My name's Clint Mansell.
I was so nice about him. You just come up with that shit.
The Langford
great.
Double's not a
Yeah,
wet
the
knot.
Langford Double.
We'll swell underwater.
Yes.
Before we finish, I want to know, what is your favorite score? Now, we can talk about anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be by any people that we talk about. What is your favorite score in any
Oh
film?
my god, there's so
Ever.
many.
You only can pick one.
One, I guess, see, it's a tough question. Because sometimes I'll listen to what's going on right now. Like, I've listened to the Force Awakens score and dissected the fuck out of that thing. And, because it's relevant, and whenever you come out with a Star Wars score, it's always something special about it. But overall, I would have to say I can pop in Jurassic Park and listen to Jurassic Park. The themes totally. You'll be humming them until the rest of your life, basically. It's one of the greatest scores of all time.
Joey?
I have a couple of answers, and they're very different.
Yeah, I know. I had a couple too. I just
Yeah. Now, there's reasons for it though. Like, there's Oblivion. I'm a big M83 fan, and like Oblivion and was it Joseph Kominsky? The
Kominsky,
two
yeah.
films that he has done, Tron and
Tron Legacy.
Oblivion.
Oh my
yeah.
god, Daft Punk.
Like the Daft Punk and the M83 scores, like they are fucking standout, But I would have to say The Lion King, if I'm gonna be honest.
That's
Augie
another
knows
one,
that
shit.
because that didn't leave my car for
You're
2 years.
You're gonna see me go, oh, it's so good. Like,
Yeah.
after they say what they have to say, because it's
But yes.
like, I love all fucking film scores. It's so good.
I would say The Lion King. I know that Gladiator is up there for me too, but I'm gonna give it to The Lion King.
Both are Hans Zimmer.
I know they are.
Speaking of, and Daft Punk credits Hans Zimmer as help for their
Tron
score.
Legacy.
Yes. And how
Big help.
about you, Gregory?
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's
Hands down.
God.
So
this
iconic.
is why we didn't talk about these guys, because this would be a 4-hour
It
video.
would be
We could do
forever.
just a video on John Williams, because, like, I don't know if he
He's
does. He
illustrious.
does not make scores that are not iconic.
I know.
Like, everything he's made.
It's interesting. We talked about it last night over dinner as well. We were talking about John Williams scores, and like he has like a ridiculous percentage of nominations.
It's 10% exactly.
One in 10. One in 10 movies he does will be nominated for an Oscar, and that is weird.
Yeah.
You know, and I would say 9 of 10 are iconic as fuck.
Right.
Like you can hum them while you're walking down the street.
I mean, we mentioned Harry Potter before as well.
Amazing. One of my favorites as well.
Jaws. I mean, he won the Oscar for Jaws. But
Yes.
I mean, it's crazy. He's got all these E.T. like
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List.
Yeah, there's we talked about yesterday the 5 Oscar wins that he had.
We just said 3 of them.
Yeah, we said 3. The other 2 were
Star
Wars, and Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof. Yeah.
And all 5 of those you can hum a song from, like
yeah.
probably most of them.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing feat for a film composer.
Oh yeah.
Like that's something you expect from a pop star, not a film composer.
From the late 60s, maybe definitely early 70s on, John Williams has made music that the populace, everyone's gonna remember. Like these are iconic scores. These are scores that helped us grow up as kids. We sang them out loud, playing Indiana Jones in the backyard with everybody.
Having lightsaber fights.
Yeah.
Only reason why Indiana Jones was an Oscar-winning film. Fucking Chariots of Fire.
Chariots of Fire.
What the hell?
You can't say fucking Chariots of Fire. Though. I mean,
Chariots of Fire is great.
If there's one thing that's just as iconic, it's the Chariots of Fire theme.
But in a hokey way, not like an Indiana Jones.
I feel like
it's become a parody of itself.
Right.
Yeah. Because I bought
he already got you a pop. Yeah, he got you a pop.
Got your fucking pop. Retroactively. The pop eats itself. It's alright.
See, pops, corn pops.
So that was our
that was composers.
That was our episode on film composers.
If you enjoyed it, watch other shit that we make.
Yeah.
That would make
subscribe.
us happy. Yeah.
Down here.
We're not gonna put that there.
Well, no, it's there.
We're gonna put it right here, right in his beard for everyone to enjoy.
It's smaller now.
Oh yeah, it is. It's probably cold. That's why.
You know, I gotta say,
shrinkage is real in facial hair.
Oh my god, this is awkward now.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that there are some composers that have great themes, but they're terrible otherwise, or not terrible, just not as good.
Oh, go ahead.
So John Ottman's a guy that I think is not as good a composer as he is a sort of theme maker in a way.
Sure, that's fair.
I forgot to say something in the come up, but I was gonna say Danny Elfman is obviously someone that we could have mentioned, but we didn't mention in the beginning. We weren't gonna talk about him because everyone knows.
We
Danny
did
Elfman.
mention him.
We did mention him.
We
said Oingo Boingo.
Yeah.
Danny Elfman.
No, I don't know if we did. We mention. I don't know.
I mentioned him.
Okay.
This is the second time that you haven't listened to me this episode. I'm gonna count them and then I'm gonna post it on our. They did the math. Twice.
How many times?
3.
Okay, yeah, that's
I'm
sorry.
So Augie.
I forgot. What
Augie was talking about John Ottman.
You're talking about John Ottman.
John Ottman, right? He's gotten better as a composer, but I think his stuff is just kind of bland. But there's like the story that about he did Halloween H2O, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is, I don't know if it's as the quality of the composer as it so much as the studio, but he wrote a full score for that, and you could listen to it now. I think it's called Stories in Terror or something like that.
Sure.
It's his full Halloween H2O score, but the studio didn't like it, so they scrapped it, and then they filled the rest of the score with Marco Beltrami's score, who's another composer we could talk about. We haven't talked about for his score for Scream 1 and 2 and for the Mimic.
So they just stole from Scream 1, 2, and the Mimic and filled in instead of having an original score.
And sort of to come full circle, I think his Halloween theme is one of the best versions of the Halloween theme we've ever had, aside from the first and second one.
Uh-huh. Which Carpenter himself did.
Right. So that's what I mean by maybe that's the reason why it got scrapped. But his themes, he comes up with a great theme, and then the rest of it's not so good. So.
I think that's a talent in itself, though. Writing music to the background. Like, I mean, I feel like not anybody, but like a musician could write a good melody.
Right.
It's the talent that makes something that accents. Yeah. I think that's where the talent of film composers come in. And
it's supposed to enhance the scene.
Yeah.
Not even just enhance it. Like, film scoring is the soul of the movie. Like, it doesn't tell you your emotions, but it helps you build the emotion.
The very the most recalled way to prove that is to watch Halloween on mute.
Oh yeah.
And
John Carpenter will tell you himself.
If you watch Halloween on mute, it is not a horror movie.
He showed the Fox studio, because he wanted them to distribute the film. They said he didn't have a score, and they said, "What the hell are you showing me here?" And he's like, "It's the movie I made." He's like, "Well, it's not scary."
Mm-hmm.
And then he wrote the score, and it changed the entire movie.
Yes. And it became the icon that it is today. And the
Halloween
score
theme.
itself, like all of the themes in Halloween, I
Right.
feel are very iconic. And that's
Absolutely.
that's what a film
The
score
whole
can
score
do.
is.
Yes.
I didn't even think. Should have thought about that as probably my favorite. Now I'm thinking about it. There's gonna be like 8 favorites, 10
He's
favorites.
gonna change his mind in the next 5 minutes.
Halloween's great from beginning to end. Literally, you can listen to that score. It's great.
Yeah. The purpose of this episode really was to bring light the one of the assets of filmmaking that we really do admire.
Yeah.
Augie and I are
Almost as-
musicians.
yeah.
I'm
And
a video game player.
and
Yeah,
he is
you're
a
a
video
passive
game player.
musician.
He's a rock band musician.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can play rock band on drums really good.
Yeah.
Like 5 gold star every song.
But
Expert.
it's a testament that you aren't a classical musician.
I was a singer.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
sang.
that's
That's how
it.
Augie
There
and I
you
met
go.
in choir.
Yeah.
So it has such
You
a
have-
profound
yeah.
effect on you
You
as
have an
well.
appreciation for
Yeah,
music
100%
as well.
I
Yeah.
do, yeah.
And that goes to show the credit that what film scores
Yeah.
can do.
But
Yeah.
these guys are like 10 times more talented than I am.
Yeah.
I'm just funnier. No, I'm not even that.
That's why we wore blue today.
Yeah.
We matched because we're the
Segregation
musicians.
They were
always.
green, they
were-
Integration never.
Yeah.
I went on a
End scene.
rant today, talking about how I was mad at Nazis because I'm not allowed to walk like a goose anymore.
What?
Do you know how annoying that is?
What? The
I would like to
fuck?
walk like a goose, and I'm not allowed to.
What? Bye.
Bye, guys.